glad you could make it back and join us to Skip E Lowe's Looking at Hollywood. We have two fantastic guests today, very distinguished peoples in two different types of entertainment. We have Carmen Zapata, a distinguished actress in the Latin community, as well as a foremost producer. And we have one of the greatest dancers in the world. We have Jose Greco. He is so hot. How hot is he? That if there was a fire, he could stamp it out himself. So what can I say? Here's Jose Greco, that is.
Carmen Zapata. Oklahoma. Tell me about Oklahoma.
Oh, I'd rather talk about Jose stamping out the fire.
Stamping out the fire. You're absolutely right about that fire. You've been living in Madrid?
Yes, I live in Madrid. That's my home. I visit the United States often because our assignments are often twice or three times a year here.
You know the picture I loved you did? Ship of Fools, Stanley Kramer.
Yes, that was a real dramatic movie.
Oh,
That was great.
Vivian
yes.
Leigh.
And Vivian Leigh, yes. Well, we had at least 10 great actors in that movie, and actors and actresses.
Right, German actor too, that German actor. What
And Jose Ferrer was
And
in
Jose
that, too.
Wonderful movie. You were absolute. Wasn't he brilliant in that film?
He's brilliant in everything.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
have never
you
seen him really worked
He's
like
the
that.
greatest exponent of Hispanic dance in the entire world. He has put Spanish dance on the map of the world.
He has.
Has
yes.
made the greatest contribution to Hispanic arts, not only in the United States, but all over
In the world, of course.
And that's why he is being given this award.
He's being
El Angel. He's being honored by the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts for his extraordinary contribution to Hispanic arts worldwide.
Worldwide.
And well-deserved.
This is going to be at the Biltmore,
Biltmore Hotel on May 14th.
May 14th, which is
Yes.
today.
Today,
Yes,
right,
this will be
tonight.
aired today, yes.
And
Go ahead.
And we are so proud and happy to have him here, to have had him accept the award and come here all the way from Madrid to accept this award. Has been really an honor for us.
You don't come to America much, do you? Or do you?
Well, I do.
You do?
Quite often. I mean, in a year, I may come 3 or 4 times.
Uh-huh.
On assignments,
Right.
of course. I mean, it's a tour of 6 months, or a tour of 3 months, a tour of 2 weeks, whatever. Because as I've retired 3 times, but every time I really want to
Have you
retire
really
seriously.
hit really 3
yes.
times?
And I just, can't seem to succeed at it. Everyone, suddenly says, "Hey, Jose, come on,
Right.
get with it. We need some fires to be stamped."
Italian parents, Jose. Jose Greco, come on. Italian parents, Italiano.
yes,
From
probably.
Brooklyn, though. Brooklyn.
Well, brought up in Brooklyn. Yes.
Brought up in Brooklyn. What made Jose do it from Brooklyn, Italiano, with that Latin? Come on, how did you do
I
that?
think it was probably the environment and the desire from my family to have someone get into the theater. That was my sister. She was the one that wanted to be an actress, dancer, musician, singer.
Your sister.
But I had to go with her.
She was also in that film, wasn't she? That
No,
film,
no, she-
Ship and Booth?
No,
That wasn't her?
no. My sister actually never really performed
never
with
performed?
us. No.
Okay.
No, she achieved the stardom in her own world, which is what Carmen always wanted to do, to become an opera singer.
Was an opera
Did you
singer.
really, Carmen?
Yes, that was my first.
But
love.
Carmen Zapata, you were Marge Cameron as
Yes,
a singer.
yes.
I was
Marge
Marge
Cameron.
as a comedian, a
And
stand-up
comedian,
right.
yes.
And working in New York, and when I came to California, they didn't believe that I was a Marge Cameron type, and so I said, well, then I better use my own name again. And I did, and it was very successful for me.
You did
I
all those
became-
character roles in
Yeah, I
TV,
did,
and
I
then you
did.
had your own television show.
Yes, I did.
What was
called
that called?
Viva Valdez,
It's very-
1976, yes. But the most important thing in my life is the theater that we have built and groomed for growing to all kinds of proportions for our community, the Bilingual Foundation
Bilingual
of the Arts.
Foundation of
Right,
Arts, which
right.
you are the president of. You are
I'm
the
president,
founder of
founding
this.
president and the producing director, yes.
Isn't that exciting, though?
It's the most marvelous thing that I have ever heard of. The work that Carmen is doing,
Right.
uniting the cultures of the people.
People getting together.
You see, that is such a great thing to do. So people understand their temperaments, their heritage,
Yes.
and be
And
proud,
be proud
and
of
be
their
proud
heritage,
of those
right,
things. Yes.
absolutely.
This is the marvelous thing about Carmen. We've known each other for years and years and years and
Really?
years. Although we don't see each other often,
Right.
but we have associated our youth many times. She, together with her brother and her younger sister, yes.
Jose.
We studied dancing together as kids.
Did you really?
Yes.
In New York?
In
In
New
New
York,
York,
In New York?
yes.
Where did you study, you two? Come on, tell me. Where
Well,
did
it
you
was a
actually
studio,
study?
It was a studio in New York on 59th Street, off Fifth Avenue, right?
Between 5th and Madison.
Uh-huh.
And it was, the teacher was Madame Helena Viola, one of the finest Spanish dance teachers in New York at the time. And I was very young. I was just beginning, and Jose was in his teens.
Yes.
And my sister was a year younger than he. My brother was 2 years younger than he. My brother was a year younger. My brother played piano and accompanied the dance.
Us at the
right. At the studio.
classes.
At the classes.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Then a couple of times, Carmen's sister and I danced while Oscar played. You know, at parties.
Oscar was my brother.
Yeah, we'd receive $5, you know, to do this club date or that club date.
First,
It was wonderful.
Come on, let's first. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Jose.
$5 was a lot of money those
It
years.
certainly was. I remember those days, Annie. You and I up in the
Yes.
mountains.
Oh.
The
We're
Not for
talking about
$5.
55 years ago.
55. Well, I'm
Yes.
going back pretty soon, too. Not
Yeah.
that far, but Jose, looking back. First, do you remember the first concert you did? Your recital, the concert with Jose
Well,
Greco, the first.
Actually, when I felt that I was beginning to achieve a lot of knowledge in the Spanish dances, when I was engaged by the great La Argentinita. This was in 1942. I was just about 22 or 23 years old then, and it was such an exciting moment in my life because I began to understand what flamenco was, and I understood the contrast between flamenco or a regional dance, a jota, or a castellana, or a seguidilla.
There's all differences.
There's so much difference between these dances, but I began to understand them. And then when I finally got to the point of making my own company, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how to utilize these beautiful ethnic dances of Spain.
When did you form your own company?
In 1949.
49.
In Madrid.
In Madrid.
Yes. After achieving great success in Spain, of
Right,
course.
of course.
From 1946 to 1949. Then I made a movie in Spain called Brindis a Manolete. It was about the famous bullfighter, Manolete. And in it I danced.
Yes.
And this was distributed throughout Europe. And in 1951, Lee Schubert, whom you remember of the Schubert Theaters, he saw that movie. And he saw this new dancer that, you know, he had never heard of.
Right.
And he was so impressed by the dance that I did that he sent out his agent to look for me. We were performing in Belgium that year, 1951, and suddenly a man appears and said, I'm sent by Lee Schubert. He wants you to open in New York this fall.
And what was it?
At the Schubert Theater,
Theater,
1951, October 1st.
Must have been exciting for
Well, we were booked for 2 weeks, and we stayed 2 months at
2
the
months.
Schubert Theater. Isn't that great?
Do you remember that when he first came?
She was just a kid.
No, I
she
was
was
a
just
kid.
7 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
No, 9,
Yeah,
what, you're
yeah,
10?
yeah.
You were about 10
Well, I
then.
remember that he stomped out a lot of fires. I'll tell
You
you.
certainly did, yeah. Bullfighters, come on, bullfighters. You must have had met a lot of bullfighters in your day, and you must have showed them some tricks.
No.
No, come on.
There's
Is
only one thing that we dancers try to absorb from the bullfighter.
Yes, go.
Which is the stance, the noble, the
Posture.
dignity and the posture of the
They
bullfighter.
do have that, don't they?
Well, I try to have
attitude.
but you know, sometimes it's difficult because I'm not a bullfighter.
Are they trained with that attitude, the bullfighters, with this wonderful...
Yes. Most of it is in their own personality.
Is it?
But to them, the most important moment is to stay still. I mean, to wait for the bull and call, but without dancing.
Right, right.
That is why they don't want to see too much dancing. But when the dancer sees the bullfighter and makes one marvelous move, we try to imitate it because it has elegance and nobleness.
Yes, yes.
And it also has a courageous bravura about those movements. That's what I like about flamenco.
Paris, France. They love you in Paris. They
Yes.
love you all over the world, but
Yes.
Paris...
I don't
I
know
remember
why.
seeing
Yes,
you
they
in
love it,
France
yes.
when I was in Paris.
Yes.
Oh, God, standing ovations, flowers
Yes.
on stage.
Well, it's
Jose
part of an
Greco,
evolution of wonderful...
It's the flowers are always on stage, kissing, throwing. It is incredible, isn't it? Beautiful. That must you feel good?
Well, it certainly gave me a tremendous satisfaction, like this wonderful award that I have received. I mean, the satisfaction for an individual to be recognized as having contributed such a tremendous amount of culture and pleasure to a multitude of people is something that you can't just ignore and say, oh, another one of those nice things. No, this is an achievement.
This is, yes.
And for me, it is at my age and it's still in my career.
Oh, you're still going on. Isn't that
Yes.
wonderful?
I
love
hope
it.
that my children can continue.
How
I have
many
a son.
How many children do you have?
6.
6.
Yes. 3 of them are dancers. But the young Jose, he is a
Yes.
spectacular performer. He is the star of the new Jose Greco
Of the new Jose Greco in Madrid.
Well,
That's coming
he
out.
has just gone back to Madrid. We just finished a tour in the
Right.
States. We're doing another one in January.
Do you conduct the whole tour yourself, help them with it?
Well, yes, I'm still part of the
church.
show,
That's what I mean.
yes.
Yeah, of course.
But Jose second, he is the star.
Uh-huh.
And we will be appearing nearby at Pasadena about the 12th or 14th of February of 1993.
93.
Yes.
You'll be coming.
Yes.
How
We'll have a
wonderful.
10-week tour just before going back to Europe.
Uh-huh.
We open in London, I think, March the 5th.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
So.
Marge Cameron. Marge Cameron, I'm going to say. I love that name.
Marge
That's
Cameron's
I mean,
beautiful,
when I
yes.
think of Marge Cameron, I think of the Blue
Yes,
Angel in
the-
London.
yes,
The Blue
Blue
Angel, the Bonsoirs, and all these guys. Do you miss the clubs at all?
Not at all.
You don't? Because
No.
you became a great actress. And
Well,
you
that was a whole other career for me, and it was a part of my life which is entirely different than my life today.
Right.
I'm not ashamed of that life. I learned a great deal at that time. I learned presence. Presence, because as a comedian or a comic, you must conquer that audience in the first 3 minutes or you're dead.
Dead, absolutely.
Right. And that presence has been with me ever since. You know, everybody feels that when I'm speaking or being interviewed that I have great presence, and that's where it comes from.
Yes.
That's where it came from. That I had to learn to master that audience the
Right.
minute I came out.
Right.
The strength that you need for that, the mental strength that you need to conquer that audience when you first walk out.
But you have been awarded. She's been awarded many times in this town,
you
helping
know that
so
both
many.
of us-
Now, come on, I'm going to talk about Carmen.
No, I
Come
wanna
on,
say- I wanna
Carmen.
mention
She
something
won't
you
let
may
me get
not
into
know.
her. Go ahead.
He and I have been given the same award by the King of Spain.
Right.
We're both knighted by the King of Spain.
That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to bring that up. You were both new.
Both knighted by
I
the
think
King of
it's
Spain.
great.
That award is given to people who are not born in Spain. They're
Right.
foreigners to Spain, so to speak. And each of us has been given that award for different reasons. Jose, of course, for his magnificent contributions to Spanish culture through dance.
Right.
And myself for the kind of work that we're doing in terms of translations of the great Hispanic literature.
Literature,
of
right?
Spain,
Of
yes.
course you do. And then this is what I love. This, Carmen, this is my favorite. of yours. This is what the prisons, what you do for the prisons. This is tell me about this.
Well,
Carmen.
I don't do anything for the prisons.
Yes,
That's an old prison that we work in.
Yes,
That's
I
the
know.
old Lincoln
This
Heights
is the
jail.
Lincoln Jail where
Right.
your
And
where your
our
place
theater,
is.
Yes, our theater is
It's-
in one of the spaces in that
Right.
old jail.
Jail.
We have converted it into a theater,
Right.
and we have another space which is a rehearsal hall. And we have made it something very special, very homey and very warm and very intimate. And our audience loves the space. They really do. But we've outgrown it, unfortunately.
Right,
You
it's
know,
gotta
we
be
need a larger
larger
theater.
space, yes.
And we are going into a larger space with our next production of my visits with MGM, my grandmother Marta. We open at the Los Angeles Theater Center on May 19th, and we're there through June 7th.
Great. What is this? Tell me about.
That's one of the. That's one.
This-
Well, those are
these are
pictures from
shows.
several
Several
of the
shows.
productions.
Production.
Yes. This is from the opera that we did,
Uh-huh.
Lorca, Child of the Moon, and
and
this is an
one
adaptation.
what is this one for?
That's
I love this.
from Doña Rosita la Soltera, a Garcia Lorca piece. This is from Yerma, a Garcia Lorca piece.
Uh-huh.
And this is from Yerma. And this is from the House of Bernarda Alba, where we had an integrated cast.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
You do get different kinds of all kinds of people, actors. You just don't
Absolutely.
get Spanish at all. You get
Well, we have all kinds.
All kinds?
It's important that they speak Spanish. That's the important
That's the
thing.
important thing.
And able to function in both languages.
Uh-huh.
And if they can do the role, if they're
now, do
qualified
they
to do the
pay
role-
for this? The classes here at all?
Oh, no. This is a professional theater.
This is strictly
This is a
professional
theater.
theater.
Yes, they come in, they
People
audition. It's open auditions for the entire community. They come in and audition, and if they can do the role, they are given the role.
Are they directors, casting people, come to your theater and see, hey, I want that actor for the...
Absolutely.
They do
Many
get
people-
work.
Yeah, many people have gotten jobs out of working in our theater. Absolutely. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And we've had some really splendid people who started in our theater. For example, Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia.
His first job was with our theater.
Was he really?
Yes, in
Great actor.
1981. Yes. in our
You must be
theater.
proud to
I
see
am.
these young
That's what
people.
it's about, Skip. That's what it's about.
I
It's
like
about
what you just
getting,
said. Isn't that nice? What it's about? She's helping people.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely,
You are
getting young people started in the industry.
Right.
Exposing them to professionalism, to professional directors and designers and other professional actors.
You know what I loved? Jose. She was in Driving Miss Daisy, and
Yeah.
she was so different than anyone else in Driving Miss Daisy up Sacramento.
Sacramento Repertory,
And you got
yes.
an award for it. She got an award. She was
Well,
so
it was a
good.
very special time
What
for
made
me
it so
because-
special
Well,
for
because it was a stretch. I mean, it wasn't driving Miss Juanita, it
Yeah.
was driving Miss Daisy.
Daisy? Right, right.
And it had nothing to do with my ethnicity. It had to do with the fact that I was a good actress
Right.
and could play that role.
Right. That's what
That's
it's
what was
all
special about it,
Yeah.
yes.
You got something new coming out right now. What you just did with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yes, a new film. I just did it last year, the fall of last
With
year.
Whoopi?
With Whoopi, yes. A picture called Sister Act, and I play a singing nun in it.
Singing nun.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Is she playing a nun in this also?
Well,
Whoopi?
she's not really a nun, but she escapes into the convent to get away from some gangsters, and the convent protects her, and she kind of becomes a nun and kind of teaches us all how to
Right.
sing. You know, makes a terrible chorus into a great chorus, choir, I should say. Yeah.
Jose Greco. Looking back over your career, come on, you've had such a great career. Looking back. Happy?
Oh my
Are
God!
you happy?
I am more than happy.
I mean,
Yes,
you're
the
satisfied?
satisfaction is incredible. I mean, even in my most dramatic and desperate hours that every human being feels, I fall back on what I have achieved.
What is your greatest achievement, Jose Greco?
I think to have become what I became, a symbol of a particular art form.
You certainly are. Certainly are.
Wow.
Definitely.
That was the greatest feeling.
There's a young lady right there. She studies your... She got... Right, Nanny?
Well, I wore my dress that I
Annie
auditioned for
does-
Carmen
she-
in, so
she
I
does
thought I
a
would wear it
very-
for Jose.
She does Spanish
a
dancing.
very
and
impressive dialogue and
She-
beautiful face.
Yeah,
and,
she studies. Oh, you've
she
given
looks
a-
as if she could be one of my dancers. You know, it's like one of the gypsies in the show.
Can you see, when you see a young performer coming to your new group, I mean, come on, Jose, they got to dance for you. And you see, is there something special you see sometimes?
Yes.
What do you see that's
Well,
certain special?
It's immediately evident whether they are star quality,
Right.
even if they're not superstars to say to take my place, but that they can hold a stage as a star at that moment, that you can
course.
recognize immediately by their bravura, by their expression, by their temperament. Of course, technique helps, but it isn't everything. It's what you do with the technique. If you know, make a turn, how do you do that turn? That is the essence
Yes.
of, you know, what we call showmanship. And through that, you become a star.
Jose Greco, seem like you've had a good time in life.
Yes, I have.
No regrets.
None.
No regrets.
No.
How about you, Carmen? Because you've
Oh,
you've,
no,
you've
I
done
have
some wonderful
absolutely
things.
no regrets. I want to say that I am probably the happiest person in the world because I can get up every morning and know that I'm going to go to a job that I love to do.
That's the most important
Isn't
thing,
it
isn't
terrible to think about these poor people who have to go to work and hate their job?
Yes.
Isn't that awful?
That's
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I've never had that problem. And so I am very happy when I get up every morning to know that I'm going to the theater that I love so much, or I'm going to the studio to do a picture or a television show that I love to do so much.
Yes, yes.
God has been very good to me, and I thank him every day as I get up and I say, thank you, Lord, for my life and for my talent.
Beautiful. Do you believe in faith? Fate.
Yes.
Do you believe in fate?
Yes.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Carmen? Do you believe in fate?
Well, I think if fate is God's will, yes. If what you think fate is God's will, because I think we all live by the will of God. What is fated for us or what God wills for us is what is going to happen.
So you both are very spiritual, would you say?
I think so, yes.
I would
Spiritual.
say that I...
That is
spiritually
very
religious.
important
Yes.
in life. Don't you think that's
Yes.
most important thing, to be spiritual? And then you could find yourself.
But
You can
spirituality
focus
doesn't
in
necessarily mean religious.
religion. That's what
you
I
know,
mean.
no.
Absolutely.
No,
You're
but there's
perfect,
something
Carmen.
else beside yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
You see, that is where the spiritualism, I think, has its profound
Right.
thing about you, that you know that you are more than just yourself.
Right.
That there's something higher than you always.
You have an organization. It's class, isn't it? A class.
No, I
You
have a foundation.
A
as well,
foundation.
yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You do.
Yes, the Jose Greco Foundation for Hispanic Dance.
Where?
In New York.
In New York City.
In New York City, and it's existed since 1970.
Okay.
It's 22 years old, and it tries to achieve the same activities as the bilingual Foundation for the Arts. Mine naturally tries to promote and to preserve the Hispanic dance, its music, and all of its other artistic adherence to the dance world. But it has always focused itself on that, and to give opportunities to the newcomers, to try to protect and guide them in their proper path toward what they really want to do in the Spanish dance.
Carmen Zapata, you go to Spain or Argentina or Latin countries a lot? You
Yes,
do?
I do. I travel a great deal.
You do.
And I do that in order to find new material and find new talent and try to bring some of that talent to the United States, to expose it to our Hispanic community so that they can become aware of what's happening in the countries that they have come from. We do a lot of plays that are written by Hispanic playwrights from Mexico, from Latin America, from Puerto Rico, from Cuba, and from Spain. And in order to find those materials, I have to go there. You know, and I love it. I really enjoy it. There's another thing that I have to go there for business, but it's enjoyable to me. I really love to do that.
Jose Greco, writing a book? Come on.
Oh, I have.
You
already.
have?
Yes, it's been published by Doubleday.
I didn't know that. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Gypsy
See,
and
I
My
didn't do
Soul.
my
It was
homework.
about 6 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sold
Okay.
out, and
That's okay.
now they want me to do
What is it
another one.
called? What is it called?
The Gypsy in My Soul.
Ooh, I like that title, Annie.
Great title.
That's our title,
Perfect
isn't it,
title,
Annie?
yes.
Gypsy in our soul.
Yes, gypsies are dancers.
That's
right.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
Absolutely. Annie knows. Gypsy and myself. What is it actually about?
Well,
I
it's
know
my
your life.
evolution as I got involved in the theater and the progress in that field and the struggles that one
What are
goes
some of
through.
your struggles? Can you share at this
Well,
moment?
the
Jose,
struggles
the
are
real
to-
struggle for you. Go ahead.
To have funds, to be able to buy costumes, and to be able to buy the services of a great composer who can write a piece of music which you can dance to, and the proper decors, the proper needs for a stage production. These are some of the struggles one must go through as he's beginning his career as a director and producer of a dance company.
Right.
And then you have to know what artists could contribute toward that production.
Right.
And how much contrast they should have in their personalities. This is a struggle to find.
Yes.
And also, when you do find them, could you then negotiate so that everything that you talk about in business is justifiable for them and for the audiences? These are moments that are quite delicate in show business because it touches what we call realistic needs. And they go just a little lower than the artistic endeavors. So when you're struggling, you have to try to maintain the illusion and the inspiration that initiated this wonderful idea that you want to end creatively, and have to confront yourself with problems, which are always there. But if you have tenacity and you have endurance, you will survive, you will surpass these obstacles and these struggles. I've had to do them.
You're a survivor. And not only a survivor, Jose Greco knows who he is, doesn't he?
He sure does.
He really does know who he is. That's what's so wonderful about it. Carmen Zapata, do you know who you are really?
Oh, you bet.
You do too.
Oh, I have no problem with identity. I know exactly who I am, and I'm very proud of that identity. And I try to impart that to young people who have problems with identity. So many of our young people have problems with identifying their roots.
They don't know who they are.
And that it's necessary for somebody to help them in that area. And that's what our theater tries to do. It tries to impart to them who they are and the pride that they should have, the self-esteem that is missing. We try to provide for them, especially in our theater for children.
Yes.
because those young people have a hard time finding out who they are in the system, in the educational system in this country, because our educational system, for some reason, negates their culture, negates their initial language, negates their traditions and customs. And in doing that, it confuses the child. And so in presenting our productions to young children, we try to fill them with the esteem, the self-esteem that's needed.
Right.
We try to instill in them pride in who they are
Right.
by presenting them with cultural material that they can identify with and be proud of.
You know, we should hire you as our president of America because you'd be wonderful right now. We need her. We need we need people like Carmen Zapata and you, Jose Greco. Believe me when I tell you, because our young people, they need families, roots there. They're lost. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
They're
the
not.
values,
That's what's
the
our
values
problem.
are
No
gone.
values.
Yeah, the values are missing.
And that's what's
And it's because the whole family unit has kind of disintegrated.
Yes.
And we need to rebuild that.
And you're doing it. You are
We're
one of the
trying.
ladies in this town is doing it, Carmen Zapata. That's why you've been awarded. That's why you've been loved. That's why you're on every honored place there is. They love you in this town. They love her.
Well, they
It's
love me
just-
because I care.
You care.
I really care about this community. I really care about our people and
Why
about
do you
about
really
our-
care so much?
Well, because they're part of me.
I talked to Kim Stanley yesterday, and I said, Kim, we have so much problems. I'm going to run away. I'm going to get out of here. She said, oh, no, don't. People, we need you here. We need people to help. That's what she's helping. Packing up clothes, food, helping everybody.
Well, all of that is very important, but we need the government to address the basic issues
Right.
of these people, the basic issues which are unemployment and housing. And until those
You
issues
see a lot
are
of that at your
addressed- yeah,
place.
unless those issues are addressed, we're going to have the same problem in 20 years.
Uh-huh.
So I can't address those issues. I can only address the issues of self-esteem and helping youngsters to feel good about themselves and about who they are. This is a time of healing. This is a time to feel joyous about who we are and about where we are
Yes,
in this country.
Exactly.
And that's what we're trying to promote in our theater.
Madrid, Spain. Wonderful. People go to dinner at 11 o'clock at night. Dinner at 11 o'clock. Come on.
Yes.
Jose, I mean, what time do you go to bed?
Well,
5 in the morning?
about 1 o'clock,
1
yes,
o'clock?
and get up at 7.
How do you
or
eat dinner?
6 or
When
whatever.
I lived there, I ate like 9, but not 11. I mean,
Well, you can of course eat anywhere, anytime you like, but officially in the social structure of life, I mean, people will not have dinner unless it's 10:30 or 11 o'clock. I think it's more fun, and make an
is?
evening of it, always.
tell me about this, Carmen. I love this. What is this about?
Well, that's a collection of the programs and invitations of all our different fundraisers over the years. The fundraiser basically is called Olé, which means
Olé.
hurrah,
Right.
And each year it's a different theme. This year it's because of the quincentenary, we're calling it Olé Las Américas 92. And
I see.
each year it's a different theme, and we address that theme during the event.
I see. This is lovely too. This is
That is
beautiful.
those are
This
our
is
children's
lovely. Your
theater
children.
pieces.
You
yes.
do children theater.
Yes, we take the plays into the Unified School District for the youngsters from kindergarten.